Okay, we're going to take a look now at Lecture 14. Lecture 14 is going to deal with taking a look at some of the other victims of the Nazis. We'll start off with taking a look at the Jehovah's Witnesses. The Nazis began to suppress several Christian minorities whom they felt were subversive to their goals. Even before the war, the Jehovah's Witnesses had been considered heretics by the Christian denominations, and individual German states sought to limit their activities within Germany. In the early 1930s, Nazi stormtroopers broke up meetings of Jehovah's Witnesses and beat up the individuals at those meetings. After the Nazis came to power, the persecution of the Jehovah's Witnesses was greatly intensified. On July 27th of 1933, we see the Gestapo, the Nazi secret police, closing the printing operation of the Watchtower Society, the organization that was run by the Jehovah's Witnesses. The Gestapo ordered all state police precincts to search the regional witness groups and organizations. The Jehovah's Witnesses, however, defied Nazi prohibitions by continuing to meet and distributing literature smuggled in from Switzerland. For defying their ban on the activities, many witnesses were arrested and sent to prisons and concentration camps. They lost their jobs in both private industry as well as public service and were denied their unemployment, social welfare, and even their pension benefits. On April 1st of 1935, the Jehovah's Witnesses were banned by law. However, they refused to be drafted into military services or perform war-related work and continued to meet. In 1935, some 400 Jehovah's Witnesses were imprisoned at Sachsenhausen concentration camp. By 1939, an estimated 6,000 Jehovah's Witnesses were detained in prisons and in camps. Some were tortured by the police to force them to renounce their faith. Very few did so. The children of the Jehovah's Witnesses also suffered. They were ridiculed by their teachers because they refused to give the Heil Hitler salute or sing patriotic songs. They were beaten up by their classmates and expelled from the schools. The authorities took children away from their parents and sent them to reform schools and orphanages or to private homes to be brought up by Nazis. And in the concentration camps, Jehovah's Witnesses were required to wear a purple triangle to distinguish them from the other groups of inmates. Many of them died of starvation, disease, hunger, exhaustion, brutal treatment, exposure to the cold. About 10,000 Jehovah's Witnesses were imprisoned in concentration camps during the Nazi period, and an estimated 2,500 to 5,000 perished. Another group that was persecuted by the Nazis were the Gypsies, the Romani, the Sinti. The Romani, commonly but incorrectly called the Gypsies, were considered by the Nazis to be social outcasts. Under the Weimar Republic, the German government in 1918 to 1933, anti-Romani laws became very widespread. These laws required them to register with officials, prohibited them from traveling freely, and sent them to forced labor camps. When the Nazis came to power, those laws remained in effect and were expanded. Under the July 1933 sterilization law, many Romani were sterilized against their will. November of 1933 brought the law against dangerous habitual criminals. Under this law, the police began arresting the Romani, along with other labeled asocial, beggars, vagrants, homeless alcoholics, and sent them off to the concentration camps. The Nuremberg racial laws of September 15th of 1935 did not specifically mention Romani, but they were included along with the Jews and the Negroes as racially distinctive minorities that had alien blood. As such, their marriage to Aryans was prohibited. They were also deprived of their civil rights. Another group that we need to look at are the homosexuals. Another attempt by the Nazis to purify their society was the condemnation of all homosexuals as socially aberrant individuals.